For more about the economic recovery, I want to welcome on Bob Golden. He's the son of Snapple co-founder Hyman Golden and a beverage connoisseur in his own right after founding his own company, TREO Brands. He's joined with the president of that company, Brian O'Byrne. So, gentlemen, when we look at exactly what's going on right now, of course, the coronavirus pandemic has affected companies all across the country. But I want to get not only how it affected your company, but also how the government's response has facilitated your recovery, if at all.
Yeah, like everybody, we felt it. Our business was really booming in the first 3 months of the year, and then COVID came. And, the fact that, our brand is sold in, delis, convenience stores, and they were probably the channels that were hardest hit. So that really had a huge impact. And in fact, I think in New York, they say about 8,000 accounts closed down. But thankfully, we think there's about 4,000 now have reopened. And as more people get back to work, we see that as a positive sign.
And that is good, not only from you, of course, from a distributing standpoint, but also because of those markets, the smaller businesses that you're talking about that then buy your products and, of course, give it out to consumers as well. It's kind of a chain type of process in order to get us back to that recovery point of where we look to get to. So from the government's response as well, they tried the PPP program to try to keep workers on payrolls. Was the government's response effective in helping your company?
Yeah, tremendous. I mean, that PPP actually did help us because we applied for it. We had most of our workers were non-essential. So by getting the PPP, we were able to keep them on board and, ready to jump on as they have done yesterday, in fact, when we opened our doors and let, our salespeople back working in the marketplace.
And now the government, of course, is looking to expand that program a little bit further. There's a bunch of different options that they're looking to do. The PPP expansion is one thing. They're also looking at other stimulus checks for different people across the country. But this also comes at a time where states are starting to reopen a little bit right now as well, which I'm sure comes as good news for a lot of businesses. So do you think that it's the appropriate time, or would it be beneficial to your company, I should say, for the government to expand that program even further? Or do you think that they should take a wait-and-see type of approach as things begin opening?
Yeah, I think a wait and see approach is really what we think is best. I mean, our brand, because we're a natural brand, because we're organic, healthy, and so on. The COVID had a positive impact because people decided to become healthier. The moms, the gatekeepers, did not want to give their kids soda, so they were looking for more healthier options. And that's where TREO falls into place.
And we had a big uptick in sales, in online sales.
Yeah, and that is an interesting point. I'm sure your company has had to develop a little bit, change its practices maybe a little bit more so than prior to this pandemic. I mean, we've seen a lot of people go more remotely, put a lot more emphasis on the digital ads, stuff like that. So before I get into the response, actually, can you tell our viewers a little bit what it is exactly that your company does?
You want to take this?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so basically, Bob, his father, was the founder of Snapple. So he was in Scandinavia, came up, saw people drinking this birch water over there, and thought, wow, that's a great idea, because the Scandinavians have been drinking it as an antitoxin for years. So brought it over, and
yeah. Also, I tried to make it for today's consumer, like Snapple would be. I tried to make a product that what Snapple would be today, and it would be organic today. It would be low calorie, which is our product is. It's 10 calories per serving. It's only 1 gram of sugar, and it's very healthy and has detoxing attributes to it through the use of we put in birch sap in our drink. We tap birch trees in Vermont.
Yeah, and the reason I ask is because when it comes to the recovery right now, I'm sure that it affects different businesses depending on what the industry is. For example, I mean, restaurants might be a little bit more slowly coming back compared to something that opens immediately. Or maybe for your company, a product that you can send out a little bit more easily. There's not so much of a physical component when it comes to the problem of transmission. So acknowledging that point, from what you've seen so far, do you have reason to believe that there will be a quick comeback, the V-shaped recovery, as they say, or do you think it'll will be a little bit more of a slow process?
Well, we noticed in sales in the month of June, we were picking up picking back up or picking up new accounts, but 1,000 per week. So we are seeing momentum in that case. And right now, like this past week, we just picked up more distribution. We picked up the Polar distribution system throughout New England. And we're picking up accounts every day now. More and more keep coming online.
Well, that's good to hear too, because I mean, it's not only a matter of getting these companies back up and running again, but for the people you employ as well, and then the other small businesses that you distribute your product to. It's very important to get them back on running again. It's one thing to focus it from a company big standpoint, but it's also a little bit more humanized when you look at the people who are currently going through financial hardship. So it's good to hear that you guys are seeing a little bit more of a recovery right now. Bob Golden, Brian O'Byrne, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight, breaking down exactly what this situation is doing for you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Bye.